So I'm going to go in here to subtool. We have our subtool we want to retopologize visible, and if I turn off solo, we have a bunch of things visible. Now, when I'm retopologizing with ZSpheres, anything that's visible on my screen, it's going to snap to. So if you want to snap to multiple things, you can certainly do that. Say if I want to snap to this and the boot, I can have this selected, the leather cover selected, turn off the eyeball. That's going to turn everything off. I'm going to tap the nameplate to turn that eyeball on, and then I'm going to go down here and turn the eyeball on, for example, for the boot, and now it will snap to both of these subtools. Of course, if I only want to snap to this one, I'm just going to turn everything off but that. I'm going to go to Insert ZSphere, and that's going to insert a ZSphere right underneath there, as opposed to a pen, which is going to throw it down here at the very bottom. So with these two visible, I'm going to select my ZSphere here, and I'm not in solo mode. So now I can go X to go across X symmetry if I want to symmetrically retopologize both of these. Of course, all I have to really do is retopologize one, mirror, and weld it, and I'm fine. If you have an object in the middle that is symmetrical, you can have X symmetry turned on. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is actually select my subtool here. I'm going to go out of X symmetry, which is underneath transform, activate symmetry X. If you toggle that off, it'll toggle your symmetry off. Hold down Control Shift, drag a green rectangle around the one you don't want, hold Alt, and that'll turn it red. That'll hide it temporarily. That's visibility. And then I'm just going to do a geometry modify topology, delete hidden, which of course is under your geometry modify topology. And now I'm just going to Z-remesh this one piece. I'm going to go back to my ZSphere, hit X to go out of X symmetry, hit W to move that into place, and then E, which is going to go to my scale, click and drag, it'll scale it down. I can turn on transparency to see where that is, and basically what I'm doing is just hiding it in the middle of my mesh so I don't see it. You can make it small and out of the way if you'd like, but if you can, it's simple and easy just to kind of hide it in your mesh, and then that way you know you're not going to accidentally topologize onto a sphere. So now what I'm going to do is go to Matcap Pearl. You can find it in your Matcap materials here. I'm going to make it a medium gray, just kind of darken it a little bit. And with the ZSphere selected and the visible object I want to snap to, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the menu here, and I'm going to open up Topology and Adaptive Skin. Now with Topology open, I'm going to click Edit Topology, and now I'm in Edit Topology mode. So I'm going to go into Draw mode here, and I'm just going to start drawing with Q. Q goes into draw mode. I'm just going to start tapping where I want my topology to go. If you want more of a breakdown on ZSphere Retopology, there's a ton of videos on my YouTube channel, Gumroad, QBrush, etc. And I'm just going to go around here and click the outline of my object here. And I really don't care about nice topology. If you do care about nice topology, feel free to spend more time and make nice, perfect topology if you wish. I really don't, I'm not overly concerned about that. Now I can just go and click back and forth. Now you're seeing I'm tapping off, and then I can tap on in the middle of ZSphere chain and then tap again. So get in the habit of tapping on and off of your object into your document to kind of reset where you're tapping from. And this is just kind of a bit of practice it's going to take. I'm going to hit W to go into Move Brush, and I can now move these things and snap it to the underlying object here. And then go back into Q Mesh Brush. Now the reason why I tapped off here was if I go here to here, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to attach this one to this one. Then you click, it's going to want to go from my previous ZSphere over to this one. I don't want that. So I'm going to tap off to reset, and then here, 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 here. I can just go back and forth. Now this one doesn't have one, so I'm just going to tap in the middle here, hit W, and then move these around. So you can see how you can kind of be a little bit messy to start with, and then you can just do cleanup later. I'm going to tap in, and I'm just going to create an inside simplified version of this loop here. And then again, I'm just going to tap back and forth and then tap off if I need to kind of do an inside ring here, like so. And if you ever want to delete one, just hold down Alt, and you can delete that one. Now you're going to see it's going to delete everything connected to that chain. So if you delete a bunch of stuff, it's kind of a pain. If you want to just delete something, like say this line right here, all you need to do is hit Q, put a ZSphere right in that, draw one in there, and then hold down Alt and get rid of it, and then it'll just delete that line. So you can kind of save yourself a little bit of time maybe. And then again, continuing to draw here. Back and forth, and back and forth. Now this one isn't doing much for me, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that and then connect these two. Now I'm going to continue drawing in here. And if it starts to get a little bit ugly, just use your move brush here and just kind of move these things around. And again, I don't care if it is a little bit ugly because I am going to just subdivide this thing. So again, I'm not overly concerned about how pretty this is necessarily. And then one more line down the middle. And then I'm going to use my move brush to kind of move these things around. Now, the remesher stuff did a lot of this work for me. But if you did want to have a little bit more control, and again, you are controlling every single one of these points. So for very precise point control, this is probably the way to go. On clothing and stuff, I tend to just let ZRemesher do its thing. If I have more of an object that I need to control a little bit more, I'll end up using ZSphere Retopology or the topology brush, which we'll get to in a bit. It's another option. You know, and obviously this does take a little bit longer than, say, ZSphere, or I'm sorry, ZRemesh Retopology. And I'm going to add one more line here, just so it's not a triangle back there. So when I connect these two, I notice I have a triangle, so I'm going to use the move brush and then Q to add a line here, and then we can move that back. So this does take a little bit longer than ZRemesher, like I was saying, but it doesn't really take that long. It's only going to take a couple minutes. And then once I'm done, I'll have exact points that I can control here. So now I can use my move brush to kind of move these around. Now when I turn this into actual geometry, I can use my move brush on that. I can use my smooth brush. I can use any number of modeling tools to help clean this geometry up as well, like collapsing poly loops and stuff like that. But while I'm in this mode, I can also just kind of cut through and kind of take care of a little bit of that work. Let's go ahead and go across here, and I want to delete this line. If I hold down Alt and click, it's going to delete a bunch of stuff, so I'm just going to draw a little point right in the middle and then hold down Alt, and there we go. And I'm just going to cut across here, and then again, put a dot there, and then Alt tap to clean that up. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what our geometry is going to look like. Let's clean this up just a little bit more. There we go.